How's it going, everyone? Welcome to my channel, and if you're not new here, welcome back, my warriors. If you're not a warrior yet, as I keep saying, click the subscribe button, click the bell button, share with your friends, all that stuff. Keep coming back for more. And today we're continuing on our series of tea topics, episode 2. And today's video is going to be diving into the confusion and lack of knowledge of bronzer and contour, you know, all that stuff. So some of y'all gonna be real mad at me, but like I said in my last tea topics video, I'm not gonna argue with you or fight with you. If you don't agree, either agree to disagree, or you can unfollow me, block me, mute me, all that good jazz. Okay, so let's get started. Alright, so where do I even really begin with this video? Because this topic is an extremely either people are choosing to be ignorant about the differences between contouring and bronzing, or they're just being misled, and also they have the lack of knowledge of it. Now, not everyone has the same level of knowledge of what bronzer and contour are, so of course there's going to be a big gap and disconnect between what's actually what. So I have 3 bronzers sitting in front of me, and I'm really gonna help you guys distinguish what a bronzer is, what a contour is. So number 1, bronzer. Bronzer is meant to add warmth to your skin. It's meant to add that healthy glow to the skin without highlighter, and of course some depth, but depth adds a flush of color. Like when you go tanning. You always come out a little bit red, you know, a little bit more warmer or pinkish to the skin because your skin is hot. You're hot and your skin is actually taking in more pigment. And pigment as in, if you are of Caucasian descent, and depending on how your spectrum of complexion goes through, how much you take in will either determine if you burn or if you tan. Now, some people are in between where they burn first and then after that burn, they tan. Some people burn and they stay burned and go right back to their normal flush complexion. Some people just tan right away, and adding, you know, different color and dimension to your face. But it's not sculpting your face like contour does. So typically, when you use a bronzer, you want that look like you're fresh off the beach. You know, hey, I got some little color to my skin, you know, look like a bronze goddess, all that good stuff. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't add structure to your face. Okay? Bronzer is adding warmth, contouring is adding depth and definition. Okay, so when you're bronzing, you're adding a bit of warmth and a bit of like flush to your cheeks and to your skin. Contour is when you're actually slimming out and playing with shadows to slim out features and reshape your face, or whichever you're reshaping. Okay, so going on to topic number 2 of contouring. Contouring are shades, like I just previously said, meant to add structure to your face, and they're just that. Now, depending on your skin tone, some products may go completely red on you, and if it goes completely red on you, that's not a good bronzer for you. Try something else. And if you are going with a contour, so they might put a bit more cool or pink on you, it's not it for you either. You really have to find that perfect balance. And how do you find your perfect contour shade? Is typically like if it mimics the exact shadow of your face. So if I turn here, you see that depth right there from the top of my ear here through here, there's that depth there. Okay, that's my natural contour. Now with my face shape, I don't ever really contour because I don't ever really need it. I typically just go with a bronzer, and that adds that flush, and then my blush, my highlighter, all of that. Okay, I know it kind of seems like I'm a bit of rambling, but I'll go into a bit more detail in a second. Just listen closely, okay? So, like I said, I'm looking at 3 bronzers in front of me, okay? This here is from Prime Beauty, and this is the shade Bronzeville. As you can see here, it's warm, okay? It's not pink, it's not red, it's not really muddy. It really will add a warmth to your skin. Now, when you apply bronzer, you're supposed to actually apply it in that 3E motion, or that C motion that people like to call it. Okay, so you graze over the temples right over here area of your forehead. You swoop it down here on top, and grazing over it on your cheekbone. Okay, that's where your bronze. And you can of course add under here, but that's mainly for contour depending on your preference. Okay, typically seasoned pro artists typically just go with the seed method, and then they lightly dust what's left on the brush over the face. They're not adding too much, it's just adding a warmth. Now when you go with contouring here, this is another contour shade from Prime Beauty, and their bronzers for deeper complexions, but see here how it's much deeper and it's much more pink. Okay, a bit more, there's more depth to it. This would be a contour shade for me and my complexion. Okay, I know sometimes bronzers and contour shades go a bit differently depending on your complexion. Okay, so basically, whenever you have a bronzer and it's pulling too ashy, it's either not dark deep enough for your skin, or it's just not a good shade for you to contour with. With bronzer, if it goes way too red, that's not it for you. Okay, that's not it for you. Try something else. Now, just because your favorite YouTuber or Instagrammer likes to use a certain shade to bronze their skin or contour their skin with, doesn't mean it's meant to be used for you. All of our undertones, our skin complexions are completely different. Okay, completely different, and we kind of ignore that because we're so wrapped up in these people and their great skills, and then they're like, oh my goodness gracious, if she uses it, she loves it, then of course I will love it too. No. Stop lying to yourself. Stop trying to force yourself to like that product. Stop trying to force it to make it work for your skin. It doesn't work that way. Not one bit. Okay, I know it seems a bit rambly, but this is actually a very confused topic. Now, next thing about bronzer mistakes that people typically do is where they place it. Placement. So typically, taking a brush here, they take a massive brush like this, okay, literally a massive brush, and they tuck it right underneath where the contour would go, and then they pull it upward. Okay, that makes it extremely muddy. When I mean muddy, is you're bringing it too far down and it looks like a beard cast. And I'm not saying beards are bad, but if you're a person like with no facial hair and you want to add warmth to the skin, that's going to just make it splotchy and red. And you're like, okay, why is your face so much differently than here and then there on your body? It's because you're using so much of a warm product. You're altering and adding pigment to your face that really shouldn't be there in a certain area. One thing, a bronzer mistake is the bronzer helmet, which basically someone takes a boatload of their bronzer, really dig in there, and then they just swoop it all over right there, and they go, well, that's where the sun hits first, so I have to add bronzer there. Yes, you can add bronzer there, but not in that type of way. So like I said before, you typically want to take your bronzer and go in at the temple here and really buff that out, and then whatever's left on your brush, still tap off the excess and lightly dust over, and I mean dust over the top of the hairline here, not directly in your forehead, because that's just going to create a whole bunch of orange splotchiness right there, and it's not contouring you, you're just adding warmth to your skin. And the reason why it looks like you're getting contoured with the bronzer is because it's clashing against the lighter concealer you have there. And so it looks like it's structuring, but it's not. I know, a lot of you guys are gonna be mad at me saying that, but that's just the truth about bronzer and contouring. And typically when you do go in with a contour shade, you do for sure take it from like the top of the ear here, and you pull it just right under here underneath the cheek area, that where it's really hugging the cheek, and you buff it upwards. So it really goes up and really pulls your face upward in like that. Not just here, it really pulls it up like that. Now, granted, yes, makeup is subjective. How you do your makeup is subjective. It's completely like up to you. But this kind of knowledge here is it's one of the very, very minuscule and very few laws and rules that makeup does have. Makeup doesn't have any rules. Okay, a lot of people say that. But there are certain tips and tricks and things that will get you the most benefit out of your makeup application and your makeup wear time. I know, you guys will be mad at me, but we don't stand bronzer helmets in house I am Todd Bohr here, because it looks muddy. It looks really, really muddy, and it's not really all that appealing to most people. And to some people, I know that if they don't like it, then they can, I mean, yes, I totally agree with that. But do know, just because you like to have that massive amount of bronzer sitting and caked all over your face doesn't mean someone else does. Just saying. let's go back. Let's do a little bit of rewinding here about what's a good shade of bronzer to use for you. Typically, when it comes to a bronzer, you really do want to go with a bronzer that's at least your shade or a shade darker, because that will have the warmth added to your skin. Now, when you keep going darker and darker, it's gonna get muddier and muddier, and it's just gonna look like a streak of dirt sitting on your face, like right here, and then right on your forehead, and then right underneath here, on your chin area, neck area, people like to blend it down to. And it's like, did you roll in some mud before you walked up? Is that what you did here? Oh, okay, all right. Whatever floats your goat. Just okay, cool. I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm seeing that kind of lack of energy. My allergies are kicking my ass right now. So sorry.
And I'm just sitting back learning.
Also, back to that whole shade and everything like that. When you have a bronzer that looks like it's can't decide if it wants to be one shade or this or one or that. Yes, exactly, that meme. So this is the ColourPop bronzer that I got earlier. I'm wearing it now. I'm still kind of iffy about it. Excuse me. This is it right here. So as you can see here, this has a very pinkish undertone, and compare it to the Bronzeville, you can already see that the Bronzeville has warmth. It looks like it's radiating warmth, like it's hot. Okay, this here, the ColourPop one, is looking like it's just pink. And pink as in, I don't know, like it just doesn't look like it really bronze someone. It looks more like a blush. Okay, it looks more like a blush. That's what it's truly like imitating. Now, granted, I can say back in the day when there weren't really bronzers meant for people of color like myself and deeper, sometimes a little bit lighter than me, they went in with a more pinkish, but reddish blush to use as bronzer because it would add that warmth to the skin. So yes, blushes can also be used as bronzers depending on its undertoning and everything like that. But if I were to compare it to Chocolate Liddy from Bronzeville here, you can see that it's a bit warmer. The ColourPop is warmer than this one here because this one's pink and cooler. This one seems a little bit warmer compared to it. So if I were to run a contour, I would go on with this as my contour area and I would use this in my blush area, but I would not use this as a bronzer because of how pink it is, and it would make my skin look kind of pinkish and red, which isn't really cute for bronzing. Now granted, yes, you can do whatever you want. Like I said, makeup is subjective. Do whatever you please. Okay. But the reason why there's this massive stigma that people can contour with bronzers because brands overproduce a certain amount of product and a certain time frame on year. 1 second they'll say add a sun-kissed glow to your skin with our new bronzing powders. And it's like, say this is like the spring and the summer. People are like, oh yes, I want that. I want to look like a bronze goddess too. Let me cop that real quick. And all of a sudden, whatever's not sold, it's sitting in their warehouse. You know, like, well, what are we going to do with these? Like, we have an overabundance of these. What are we going to do? Okay. And then they go in, well, tell them that it will also help chisel their cheeks out as a contour. So they push it, they send it off to promo, campaign shoots, or to influencers to model and promote as contour shades. And then that's where all the newbies and whatnot are beginning to learn that bronzer is used for contour, which is not the case whatsoever. At the end of the day, yes, sometimes when you go looking at someone with a more warmer undertone, you do want to take the warmer spectrum of the bronzers, and whatever is a more cooler tone in that spectrum of warm tone bronzers for that one warm tone person, one of those are going to be a contour shade. But you also have to gauge it off of your undertone, your current skin complexion, and sometimes how it may read on top of your foundation and concealer and all that stuff like that when you go into the rest of your face makeup. And I know it's a lot to think about, but
bro, you're making my brain hurt. That is a lot to think about.
It is a lot to think about, and it's just because not many people truly sit down and research and really understand that. They just go by what that one influencer is saying, who is getting a paycheck from a brand, to say, yes, they can contour with this. Okay. I'm here to tell you, look at actual pro artists or actual makeup artists who work in the field, as in they work on other people and not just their own skin, and see what they use for contouring, what they use for bronzing, because I'm not gonna lie to you, like, a lot of these brands are being ran by people who don't even know how to do makeup themselves. They just see it as, this is one of the most profitable industries, because the makeup industry, beauty industry is one of the most profitable industries in America, in the world right now, in general. So, take a bunch of people with a lot of money who want to invest their money in something so they can make more money out of it. Oh, what's that? Makeup is a booming industry, making a lot of money. I'll make my own brand. I just go to some random lab, do whatever I want, gotta do, give them a lot of money I gotta give them to do whatever. And then they go, okay, cool. Do whatever with it, promote it, just get me money. And that's basically how it is. Okay, so that's why you see a lot of pro artists going, stop using bronzer for contour because it doesn't contour you. And people fight like, well, the brand said this and that. Okay, well, do you know for a fact that these brands are being ran by actual makeup artists or previous makeup artists? No. Look at brands like Pat McGrath and Vanessa Myricks. Like, those two professional pro artists started their own brands, and how they go about contouring is completely different than how it goes about when a brand says contour with something. That's a great starting point to really be like, wow, okay, a working artist saying this is a contour shade for deeper complexions. Maybe they do know what they're talking about because they're making all this money and their work looks immaculate, over the brands are just saying, yep, here you go, you can contour with. And you see people with like the line there, it's like line of demarcation. It's like, why does it look so dirty right there? It's because they're not using a true contour shade, or they're just using bronzer. This coffee is so good right now. I know. It is a lot, and I know it is a lot to think about. And when I first got into freelancing and being a pro artist before this, I was like, but this one brand said you could do that. And then my old teacher was like, okay, well, do what the brand said. So I did it, and she was okay. Now, take my model, and then look at yourself in the mirror and tell me what's the difference. I started them in the mirror at myself and the model for a good half hour. I really did. And I was like, why does my face seem muddier than hers? Like, my face just seems like it's radiating heat, like it's radiating warmth and heat. Like, what's going on right here? And hers actually looks structured. She goes, because you're not using an actual contour shade. Now, a lot of you guys are like, well, so-and-so does this, and that, and they use bronzer to contour. Okay, but stop and think yourself. Do they ever put that translucent powder down right underneath here on the jawline area right here? Yeah, that's called reverse contouring. You're bringing light, you're using more light in the face to structure your face. It's not actually the bronzer that's contouring. It's that highlighted area right there. That's doing the contouring. Yes, it seems like the bronzer is doing it because the bronzer is a lot deeper than that translucent powder that's brightening. So yes, the contrast is there, but you're using warmth. And then at the end of the day, they have this huge hot patch of like basically what looks like dirt sitting on their cheek here because it's not a contour shade. I mean, as I said, I am not trying to be negative. I'm not trying to put anyone on blast. I'm not trying to really sit there and be a negative Nancy or whatever. I'm just sharing my knowledge, what I've learned, what I've been through with all you guys who are literally like, well, Auntie Todd, why are you always on Twitter picking on a bronzer helmet? I'm not picking on them. Like, I'm making good fun with them, and a lot of people we joke about it a lot. But truly, at the end of the day, I still would never, ever use bronzer to contour with. Never again, at least, because now that I have this knowledge, I'm like, I rather look structured than I would with that, you know what I mean, that. And the reason why people go like, well, you look contoured is because I have a very narrow face as it is, an angular face as it is. So when I go with my highlighted areas, it's clashing against the outside part of my face, so it looks like it's sinking in more because it's being brought out more. So this side of my face is being pulled out, while this is basically being pushed in from the highlighting effect. it's creating more light. So when there's more light, there's going to be more shadow behind that light. So that's basically what highlighted contour is, playing with light and shadow. I know it's a lot to take in. Like, I probably hurt your brains right now with all that information, but it wasn't being properly addressed.
I didn't know any of this, but whatever.
It's just it's. Guys, so let's do a comparison again. So here you have an actual bronzing shade, boom, right here. Okay, you can see it's warm. It's warm. You can see it like right here in the viewfinder and everything. Like, this is going to add warmth to my skin. Okay, not pink or anything like that. It's going to add warmth to my skin. Then you go have a shade like this from ColourPop. Let me see if I can cover the mirror. There we go. From ColourPop, and it's like, it's pink. Bronzer. Supposed bronzer. Okay, so here is supposed bronzer. And this is known as a bronzer too, because depending on, if I was like more Nima Tang's color, this for sure could be a bronzer, or maybe even be a blush for her. But for my skin tone, this is a contour shade because it's cool, it's pinkish, you know, it's a bit neutral too, so it's great for contour shade compared to this one where this doesn't know what it wants to do. I really can't imagine this contouring someone. I mean, bronzing someone. I really couldn't imagine this bronzing someone. Maybe contouring? No, but I see this more as a blush. I actually, with this entire look here, we'll be posting after this video, I use this as my supposed bronzer, and it looks like I just used blush to add a flush to my face again, like the good old days when there wasn't really anything for black people to use. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I really don't know.
Bro, I can't see shit because of this caustic.
Hey.
Are you playing Apex, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, Nate is sucking booty at Apex.
It was the last squad, and then we just walked into a caustic trap. Sorry.
Sounds like your problem, not mine. Just kidding.
Yeah.
So, guys, I'm not trying to be mean, okay? I'm not really trying to talk shit. If I could, I could word it differently and say be more aggressive. But I'm not, because I do have a lot of people in my personal life and also people on social media who ask me, well, what's a good bronzer to use for darker skinned people, or what's a good bronzer to use for these shades of people? And I'm like, you really just have to sit down and look at it. Oh, another good reference. So look at Makeup Geek from Marlena. She added literally cool contour shades and warm contour shades because she knew for certain complexions our undertones may still be cool, neutral, or warm, but because of our complexion it reads differently. So she literally took the warmer spectrum and alter it so it could be contour shades for people of my complexion, darker and a little bit lighter, and then the cool side for people who are more of the Caucasian descent, you know, all that stuff in between there, gang gang. And so they would have a shade. Now granted, could this spectrum over here, the Caucasian spectrum over here, the cool, the warmer side cool, where they use as a bronzer? They could, but would it look extremely muddy?
Could you use something from
The other spectrum?
cool side?
No. I couldn't. Marlena from Makeup Geek. She used to be a pro artist, so she really does not understand like the things that it would take to make a contour shade and a bronzer for different complexions. And she gets a lot of great knowledge when she described that. It was like a couple years ago when she made this video, but when she really did gave a great description on why she did it that way. Oh, another makeup artist that I absolutely love that will really help give you a bit more detail than what I did, because I know I kind of just threw it at you, because some of y'all think I know everything, so why not just give it to you? Anyway, Jordan Liberty, he released a couple video series about why he cannot stand about why people are contouring with bronzer, and literally everything I just said, he says it in more depth because he's been working on it as long as I have. He has more knowledge than I do, and yeah. Just here, let me swatch these for you too. Let's do that. All right, so going with Bronzeville from Prime Beauty, I'm just going to swatch this for you. I don't really believe in swatches, but sometimes you just gotta do it to get your point across. Right then and there, you can see on my finger, it's a little bit warm. If I go right over here, let me see if you can do it well. Right there, it's not pink, it's not pulling red, it's not pulling pink, it's literally adding warmth right there. Next, I'm going to go in with Chocolate Liddy from Prime Beauty, right here. See our finger right there. It's more chocolatey, of course, and then I'm gonna put it right next to Bronze. So I just swatched Chocolate Liddy right here. It's cooler. You can see it's pinker, a little bit more, of course, cooler than Bronzeville over here. And then I'm going to go on with this ColourPop one that I'm still indecisive about how I feel about it. Right here. See, it's pulling more pink. So I'll put that next to...
Oh.
Here. Yeah, the swatch is weird. Putting this next to Chocolate Liddy. It basically looks like a blush right there. And we'll add a little caption box here to show you a closer up of these. And yeah. I would for sure go in with Bronzeville to bronze, and then I for sure will go on with Chocolate Liddy to contour, and then to be honest, I would actually use the shade from ColourPop to actually be my blush, because how pink it's pulling, and it's actually pretty shimmery too, a little bit in there. So, yeah. That's the topic, guys. Some of y'all gonna be real mad at me, but that's okay. We're in this together. Just education. So like I said, like, not everybody had gotten the education that I have gotten, or some people are just refusing because their favorite guru says to do it that way, or their favorite brand says to do it that way. And like I said, are these brand officials out here doing people's makeup? No. Some of them might have been old niggers back in the day, maybe, very, very rarely. But for sure, look at the brands that are now being ran by actual makeup artists. Like I said, Pat McGrath or Vanessa Myricks, because they will really show you what a real contouring shade is like, or what a real bronzing shade is like, because they understood. That's today's tea topic video. I know it was a lot of information, but for sure, check out those those makeup artists I told you about, Jordan Liberty, Vanessa Myricks, and Pat McGrath, to really get an understanding about how contouring works, because they really will show you like how contouring really works. Quick recap: bronzer adds warmth to the skin. It adds a flush to the skin, like you're fresh off the beach or you just got done tanning. Contour plays with shadows, which adds structure to the skin. Or to the facial structure, not skin. I don't know, whatever, you know what I mean. Okay? So, what I would like to see in the rest of 2019 in the future is less bronzer helmets. And actually just more being kissed by the sun, basically. So there's a lot of quick flicks of the bronzer everywhere you need to go, or just tone it back some. Just don't dig your brush in there and really go to town, because it gets splotchy. It gets dirty looking. It looks like a chocolate rainbow is sitting on your forehead, and yeah. So guys, I guess that's the rest of this video for today, because there ain't much besides the bronzer fiasco and all that jazz. So Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna go take some more Benadryl and pass out. Peace.